my God, there's someone new here. Is it me? Oh, it's Kevin.
No one new is here.
I don't know why.
I've missed that intro.
I don't know. I missed the intro. Have you missed it? You already missed the intro.
I really have.
Maybe I should have done it for Dungeons and Dragons earlier. What do you reckon? So for those, some people that are watching, so I introduced my colleagues, including Kevin, to playing Dungeons and Dragons earlier today, their first time. And Kevin, what do you think of it?
You know what? It was actually quite fun, but it's probably the most complicated thing I've ever had to do in my life.
It does. Do you know what? It does start off complicated, doesn't it, Owen and Charlotte? But you kind of get into it.
Yeah.
Once you get the hang of it, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
And you can spark so many different things afterwards once you play
exactly. And also, Charlotte, you'll be pleased to know that Kevin used a spell and like electrocuted someone. He's like,
He did a firebolt, though.
It was good.
No,
I have no idea what it was.
he just wanted to launch lightning instead. Right, yeah. So if you're watching, welcome to Free2talk TV. Thank you for joining us. Please give us a like. Please give us a comment, or join in the conversation as we have it. So we're going to be talking about the party political conferences and what they are a little bit. We're going to talk about the Pandora Papers. Because apparently no one knows what the Pandora Papers are apart from me, and discuss something that Boris Johnson has said and find out where all the money comes from, basically. But before we go on, it's been a few weeks. So, Richard, how have you been?
Been feeling better. I was very unwell 2 weeks ago. But yeah, started college again, doing level 3 IT now, which is making me very tired. I am tired right now, if you can't tell.
it's staring at screen time, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
It does tire you out. That's the thing. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. And we weren't around last week because I was on holiday. Because I'm good like that. Owen, how about you?
I've not been too bad. Finally started my job properly. Still not been paid yet. Need to get that checked out. Got my next shift tomorrow evening, which I'm kind of looking forward to, just because it's to be honest, working at View is fun. It's absolutely fun. I've just been leveling up in Destiny, ready for next week. I've just been doing some extra character drawings for D&D, so I've just been keeping myself busy as much as possible.
Such a geek. Works at a cinema. Plays computer games. Plays D&D. It's definitely got nothing to do with my influence. Charlotte, how are you?
I'm not too bad. I've been quite ill as well. There must be like a bug or something going around, because I had to use my holiday from work and I was ill on my days off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I've been all right. I started uni today, so it's a bit busy.
So you're last year now, are you?
Yeah, I've just gone into my last year, yeah.
Soon you have to join the real world.
But I'll just carry on studying forever.
You know what? It is an option. It is an option. I know people that have just kind of gone, oh, well, I think I'm going to do another degree in something else.
There's nothing stopping me.
Student finance.
Student finance,
that's
well. Although you say that, there's a proposition in place for reducing the loan amount for the night from the $9,000 to about $6,000, I think.
That's good.
So if you pay back.
I told today, if I do like a master's or like carry on after this year, I get a discount if I do it at the uni I'm at. So,
oh dear! And hello, Emma.
Hello, Emma.
But the only problem with that, I mean, this might be a separate thing, but that the Conservatives are looking at reducing the amount of loan for fees from not £9,000 to £6,000.
But there's also they're
going to lower the amount you have to earn before you have to pay it back.
Which is not ideal. I'd rather pay $9,000.
Sorry. What you say, Owen?
Yeah. I was going to say that technically speaking, student finance allows only 4 years. 4 years of student finance.
What is it?
Yeah, there's only 4 years. You can only do 4 years, and then the rest of them you have to pay yourself.
They obviously saw you coming, Charlotte. That's what
obviously.
It was. She can do a master's, but that's it.
Kevin,
what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Not a lot. No. I've been busy doing the forest school stuff, really. I'm also leaving at the end of this month. So,
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell anyone until Kevin had the opportunity. So
No, so I'm leaving for Plymouth at the end of this month. So busy packing and tying up some loose ends. So I'm very happy that I can be on this for a few more times
Yay.
before I go. That's exciting.
So tell everyone what the job is, Kevin.
My new job.
Yeah.
I'll be working for the National Trust, working with 16 to 24-year-olds who are unemployed, helping them gain some skills and just give them something to do, something positive for their CV.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's still in the same field. It's not like he's leaving
Pretty
us
much,
to become like a Tory MP or something.
No,
And,
although that was a close second.
There was a close. you did apply for that, didn't you? And Boris Johnson says your hair's too neat.
That's it. I combed my hair, so that wasn't good enough.
Like you're not allowed to be in. Right. Anyway, so we're going to talk about party political conferences. So I want to go around to everyone. Does anyone here know or have any idea what a party political conference is?
Not really, to be honest.
Can I have an estimated guess?
Go on then.
Is it like just where the leaders of all the parties just come down into like a little desk room area and just have a chat?
Like ask questions and stuff, or
Yeah, like ask questions about who's this, who's that, what do these do, do what?
Kind of. Yeah. So what actually happens? So the Labour Party and the Lib Dems have already had theirs, and the Conservative one is currently happening in Manchester. It's over a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days, and they basically sell tickets for MPs. Hello, Georgia. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. For MPs and members of the party, so you can be a member of the party, and business owners and all that kind of stuff, to come down and basically all the MPs talk about their plans or what's called their manifesto. Does anyone know what a manifesto is?
Is that like their plan or something, or
Yeah,
they've got in mind?
Basically their plan to run the country. Okay, so just looking at so the top 4 things in the Conservative manifesto are strengthening our NHS, investing in schools, a strong economy, and safer streets. So they're looking at a strong economy, probably because of COVID and stuff like that. A safer streets because of Sarah Everard, and well, there you go, Georgia. Lots of lies condensed into an easy read format. Yes.
Okay.
Now, but the thing is about these conferences, they do turn it into a massive party. This is true for Labour, Lib Dems. I mean, I think the only one, the Green Party of England, Wales, are the only one that aren't planning to have a massive party because they're like proper going, do it remotely or come, but we're trying to save the planet and stuff like that. So they put all these things forward for a manifesto. Now, if you went to a party conference, what would you want to learn about? Richard, putting you on the spot. It doesn't matter which party. What do you think would be most important thing for a political party to say about running the country?
What their plans are for the environment.
So you think the environment should be top, yeah?
Yeah.
So if I look at that manifesto, there's nothing on the Conservative one for the environment. I think the Lib Dems had something written in a bit. Labour, again, just something written in a little bit. It's kind of still sidelined. So do you think a political party should put the environment at the top of everything?
I wouldn't say at the top of everything, but up there, yeah.
Yeah? I mean, why do you think the environment's important?
I mean, global warming has been getting out of control. If I remember correctly, there's some sort of timer in the world somewhere where if global warming isn't fixed by this time, we're screwed.
Yeah. So, we are on a bit of a timeline here because of our throwaway society. Really, we were talking about throwaway society this morning, Kevin, in our meeting. So what about you, Owen? What do you think would be most important thing for a party to talk about, to interest you?
Probably the distribution between like social services and recruitment.
So you'll talk about like how much money is put into social services, maybe. By
Yeah,
the government, or
so like paramedics, policing, and fire brigade. But as well as that, you could also argue a little bit of air ambulance, air police, but also
air police. Sorry,
air police. Why not?
I was just thinking of when Trump wanted to form a space police, like, and stuff. Sorry,
sorry.
air police.
I do. Yeah. So also like the Coast Guard is a good one as well. So like all like the voluntary / public services that help to save lives and protect people.
I mean, because I should add, I mean, you've put in like air ambulance. I think I'm right in saying that air ambulance is basically charity. So
it is. So it's the Coast Guard.
Funding. Yeah, so it's the Coast Guard. So it's not.
So that's why I'm
supported
saying
by the government. So you would want them to come under the umbrella.
I would like to have that the air ambulance would work alongside with the actual ambulance service as well, because it shouldn't be a chore to be a charity if you are going to give them the extra stability to help them survive. Same for people at sea as well.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, before we go to you, Charlotte, I'm just going to, Georgia's put some suggestions in. So her number 1 is like protect minorities. And number 2, allow EU citizens to come back easily, not just for 2 months. Kevin. I know you're going to Plymouth, so you're closer to the Europe. That's your plan, isn't it?
That's the plan.
And reform the police. I think we'll talk about some of that later. Charlotte, what would be most important to you to entice you to pay for a ticket for a party conference?
I think I sort of agree with Owen. I think especially for like youth services and things to help young people, kind of like funding and things like that. But I think the biggest thing, it's not even anything specific, just like the changes that they're going to make that aren't already happening at the moment. So big things, because I know they always, they're not always the most reliable things that they say all the time. But I think, big things that they try and hope to achieve in the next few years or whatever, and things like that are, doable. But I think youth services and funding for youth services and like,
because all youth services is basically charities.
Yeah, I know. It's tricky, isn't it? I just kind of, I think that's the sort of thing, because that's the sort of field I'm interested in anyway. I think that'd be a good one. That would interest me personally. Yeah,
that's fair enough. Kevin, what about you?
I can't actually vote here, so it doesn't matter. No, I think I agree with Richard. I think the environment should be one of the top spots. Because it is clear that it's going wrong. We need to do more. I think you're all right, basically, because I think there needs to be earlier intervention when it comes to knife crime and gang violence, but not at a police level. I think it needs to be tackled way before it even gets to the point where someone picks up a knife. So there needs to be more youth service provision.
Yeah, cool. I think for mine, this is going to be very, very, very controversial, right? Really controversial. I would
surely not.
Yeah, I know it's really. I would go to a party conference to listen to people that actually told the truth. So, because I've got to bring it, I mean, every party is guilty of it, but I am going to focus on the Conservatives because it's ongoing now, just at this moment in time, because they're in power, right? Always be critical of the government that's currently in power. So the Conservative, one of their parts of their manifesto is they said, with the Conservatives, we've seen our economy grow with rising wages and unemployment at a historical low, right? So that's what they've said. How true do we actually think that is?
I think it's always hard to know how true it is, because everything's, I don't know. I feel like you can never fully rely on it's never fully reliable, is it?
Because I mean, I'm obviously bashing the Conservatives here, but every government has been guilty of it, of fiddling the numbers. So they count. Say for example, I'm just gonna use you, Kevin. Say you were a full-time carer for your mum. Yeah. Do we think he would count as unemployed or not?
No.
He counts as employed. according to the statistics and what the government asks for, because he is a full-time carer. Even though he gets benefits technically for that from the government, he counts as employed, even though no one's paying.
They kind of change the statistics and
Yeah,
to like suit them and to make them look.
Also, Charlotte, what's your job?
What do you mean?
A Waitrose, yeah?
Yeah.
How many hours a week do you do?
I do on average about 12 hours a week.
So part-time, yeah?
Yeah.
For the purposes of those statistics, if you weren't at uni, you count as employed.
Yeah, which is crazy because you can't live on
it's
that,
like
can
it doesn't show the true picture. Okay.
No.
And also, I want with what they've said about we've seen the economy grow, then how come food banks have gone up 2,000 to 3,000% in use in the last 10 years? I mean, why is that?
People need them.
Well, yeah. So why do they need it? So it doesn't show the whole picture. This is my issue, and I just really wish people would tell the blooming truth.
Yeah.
Could just be me, because I'm a loony lefty. I just want people to tell the truth. But that does include the Labour Party as well, who have been guilty of porky pies. Talking of porky pies, I just like alliteration here. We're just going to move on to the Pandora Papers from that. So nobody here knows what the Pandora Papers are.
It turns out I did. I just didn't know they were named.
You didn't know what they were. Okay,
No.
So Kevin, you tell us what the Pandora Papers were.
I as far as I'm aware, it is some leaked document about all these rich guys and gals basically getting richer by being able to hide away certain things like property and money and stuff, so they don't have to be taxed.
Yeah, basically. So obviously, this is me being loony left with this, but the whole idea of capitalism is if you are already rich, you will get richer. That's unless you spank all your money on a rocket to space like Jeff Bezos, like literally all of his money, but he didn't. So you will always get richer. Because you can hire people to make you more money. If you are poor to middle class, generally you have to work really hard to get anywhere near the amount of money to be secure. And you always have to work hard. That's what's instilled in us. But what's come from this Pandora Papers, and it's about 12 million records or 12 million terabytes of information, which is a lot. There's 14 offshore financial services that have been shown off in this. And they've basically shown how all the rich and powerful hide money. Now, this includes former Prime Minister Tony Blair, who is a Labour man. Yeah. He and his wife bought a company which happened to own a house in London. So when they bought the company, they got all assets as well, which meant they didn't have to pay about £300,000 worth of tax.
Crazy.
Wow.
And that's just a one-off thing, right? That's a one-off thing. But that shows the kind of scale of what people with millions and billions of pounds can do to avoid paying all that money. I mean, that £300,000 in reality is not a lot of money to them.
No, it won't be to him, would it?
But £300,000 could run Free2talk for 2 years, for example. It could pay all our wages for 2 years, to support young people and across an entire town.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And that's literally just the tip of the iceberg. So, in the past, Labour and Lib Dems have been most at fault, but obviously, because the Tories are in power, it's revealed that there's been a guy who was a political donor. So he donates money to the Conservative Party. And he has been done for fraud. So I want to ask all of you as young people, and Kevin, you still count because you're younger than me.
I was about to say, who are you calling young?
All of you, because you're all younger than me. So obviously there's been this release of all this information. Is it fair? Kevin, is it fair? What can we do about it?
I'm going to be that controversial one and say no, it's not fair. But actually, if it's a way to do it and it's legal, then fair enough. Like you wouldn't you?
That's a very good point. Because I should add to everyone else, it is legal at this time to do all this. completely legal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just immoral, I'd say.
Oh, it's horrible thing to do, but if you're a millionaire, and let's be honest, the people that can change these rules are the millionaires. So why, it's probably not going to be changed.
Mm.
Well, in that case, if it's the millionaires that can change these rules because they're so rich, should we stop them being able to donate all this money to political parties to basically get their way?
I mean, probably, yeah, but is that something that can be done?
So it's easier said than done, I think.
Yeah.
It can be done when we get information like this.
Yeah.
I'd argue.
Yeah.
So, okay, Charlotte, is it fair? I think everyone's going to say no.
Yeah.
But do you think we can do anything about it?
I think it's tricky, obviously, because you said, the people that are sort of doing it are all the rich people and they've got all the power. So it's hard to kind of break that barrier when they're the ones with the power. But also, like you said, when things like this happen, it does get out to the press and to the public, and it kind of distorts the image of them, I think, a bit, and probably makes the public sort of lose hope a little bit, I guess, and then reduce support. But I don't know how much we can really do as public, because they all have the power, I guess.
Protest, vote.
Yeah. It's a long process, though, isn't it? I think there's a lot that needs to be done.
It'll go on forever, but
exactly.
That's why we're here. That's why we're empowering young people to make these kind of decisions. Owen, I mean, I'm getting ready for you or Richard to go. I think it's completely fair. Do you think we can do anything about it, Owen?
I would like to, in my goodness in my heart, I'd love to say that we could try and do something, but agreeing with Charlotte that our little voices can't get through to those stubborn individuals, can we? If they've got all that money and stubborn enough to use it the way that they want to use it, and if it is a legal way, then they're going to exploit that illegal way, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Even though it looks to be, it should be illegal. There's a lot of.
Okay, let's put this in a different light just before Richard answers. Then, so do you not feel powerful enough to change anything? I'm presuming you don't think you can change it. But
I feel like totally no, yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't know anything about this until I said about it, did you?
True.
You didn't know this happened. So now that I've explained it to you and you all know, you can tell other people. You can research it. You can look into it, and we're five. We can think about it, yeah. But we're five voices, and say you tell 3 friends, yeah. They'll make that suddenly 15, and then they tell 3 friends, and it explodes, yeah. So you're educating, you're informing, you're making these decisions, and suddenly that one voice becomes 1,000.
Yeah,
and that's what politics is about, really. Richard, what do you think you can do to change it, if anything?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Eat the rich?
But yeah, why don't we stop giving money to the government, to the parties?
So, right, okay. So you want to stop giving to the political parties, yeah?
Yeah.
So where should that money come from instead, then?
Next question.
Next question. You want me to do that as the next question? Okay. So if I said, obviously how a party is currently funded. So in the 2019 general election, about £50 million was spent by parties. Now that's across the board, I think, rather than individual. So do you think then we should have a pot of money for a party, and they go, I want to be a political party. That's me. I want to do the bald party, and you give me £1 million to try and convince everybody in the country that they should elect me. Do you think that would work?
For every party, given exactly the same fair amount to win over the public, that does seem like a very fair sort of way of doing it. That seemed okay. Instead of saying fair way of doing it, just say it's a fair, equal gesture for all of them. There we go. That's the right words I had to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I would agree. It's more fair than, some parties having more funding and things like that, and some parties being more popular. But I don't know. I do think it's a lot fairer, definitely.
Okay, so if the Labour Party, right, who obviously have been around for years, we say they get £1 million, right? But there's also Lord Buckethead, who ran for Mayor of London. Was he Lord Buckethead this year or last year? I can't remember because it was Bin Face at some point. Colonel Bin Face.
I think it was last year. I think it was last
it last year?
I think it was. We were talking about this in the first lockdown. So I think it was about 2020.
Should we give someone like that £1 million to run a campaign as well?
I mean, I don't really see why not, because I mean, I feel like they all deserve an equal chance. It's such a big decision.
How about then? I say we give UKIP, basically the most racist part of UKIP, right? Who basically white nationalists, yeah, or someone similar, £1 million to run their party as well. Should we do that?
I mean, I'd say no, but
say no.
I unfortunately would say yes, because it should be fair.
Yeah, it should be fair.
I being foreign, it goes against everything I stand for.
Because you can't pick and choose and be fair. Yeah, you can't pick and choose and be fair at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is, but then if you were to give everyone the same amount of funding, there's a much higher chance that they would probably get into power, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But there's also the factor of there is a process you have to go through to become a political party itself, to be qualified, to be able to be run for the governmental positions, isn't there? So
but those are already
before they give
them, aren't they?
So if they do all that process and get themselves certificately allowed to do that, to run for any governmental position, that's when they get their £1 million to convince the public, because they've all done their own work to get where they have to be. Now they've been given funding to get the extra boost to get into the government. That would, because you do think how many other parties could be out there that have been trying to get in. I'm not too sure what the newest party has actually been in since the newest one, because we've had Conservative, we've had Labour. So I don't know how long Green Party's been in there for, but
I don't know how old they are actually.
No, so you got to think, what was the last party that we now know was the last one to be accepted into the list to run for governmental positions?
It's like, where do you draw the line with new parties and things like that? Because if you're being equal, you need to give everyone an opportunity to kind of register and things like that. But it's tricky because you can't be giving out millions of pounds to random people, can you?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, that you have to do a full process to get to that stage, and then have to qualify through that stage, and that's it.
So the process is, right, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So you choose a name. The Bald Party. There we go. You pay £150. You draw up a manifesto, and that's pretty much it.
Is that
I
all you
might
have to
become a
do?
political party.
Might as well try.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm obviously simplifying it a little bit there, but the cost is £150.
I mean, it's not a lot, is it?
It's not. So that would make the equal representation of money a bit more difficult. Whereas if I form alongside Lord Buckethead the Bald Specky Party, and we, as it currently goes, I have to go to Kevin, who's a wealthy donor. You wish you were a wealthy donor, don't you?
I am a wealthy donor. Say
Kevin runs a company that's worth £1 billion, and I go, Kevin, will you give me £1 million to help run my party? And you say, Kevin?
Yes.
Why do you say yes? Because you like my manifesto?
No, because then you can sell off something to me that I need.
Ah,
So then it becomes more like a business plan than like an actual
it is.
idea. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's called lobbying. It's basically what big companies do. So Tony Blair was caught up in it. So he had a big expensive meal paid for him by the guy that ran the F1 at the time. So I think 2005. And the whole reason why he spent all that money to have dinner with Tony Blair is because at the time they were trying to get rid of all tobacco advertising in sports. And Tony Eccleston at the time basically had the dinner with Tony Blair to go, you need to make F1 exempt because, of course, he gets loads of money from the advertisers.
It's more like a business deal than anything to do with the politics, really, isn't it? Wow, yeah.
So, I mean, has anyone got any extra ideas on how we could make that better? Richard.
Go, Richard.
Go on, Richard.
It's putting all the pressure on you.
Come back to me.
Come back to you. Go on. Anyone else got any other ideas on how we can make it better?
To be fair, I can't think of anything really. It's tricky because I feel like everyone deserves an equal opportunity, but at the same time, it's near enough impossible to make it equal because some parties have, some parties are naturally more popular. Some parties have more funding and would get more funding anyway from just like you said, from other businesses and things like that.
There could be a funding limit. I know I've been kind of like appealing for just like a limit of £1 million, but maybe there is a limit of how much you can spend. So maybe £1 million could be just any number, but the maximum that they can spend is 2.5 million. That's it. That's the maximum they can do. So any more than that, you could say that they're disqualified. And they have to redo it in the next election.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'll explain some of this process at the moment. So they have, I think they only have to declare where the funding comes from when it's above a certain amount. I can't remember if it's £1,500 or £7,500. I can't quite remember. Do you think we should just declare everything? Tell us where the money's come from. Just have full transparency. Yeah. You think that would be fair? I
think so, because then everyone, you're not hiding anything then, and everyone, you can see where everything comes from. So you're less likely to get it from dodgy places or things like that. So I think that's a good idea.
So that'll enable you guys to see. So Kevin's company, right? Sugary Monster Drinks Inc. We'll just use that as an example. You definitely know that him donating £1 million to my party is probably the reason why I'm wearing all the branded T-shirts. And acting as free advertising whilst on TV. That's probably where it comes from.
Exactly. People can think that as well, like random T-shirts in like a conference. Like imagine in those like debate videos and you business partner with a costume company and you see all these other people in suits and then you're just there just as Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh dear. Right. So talking about where the money comes from, I mean, we've kind of missed it a little bit. But did anyone hear about Dominic Raab's holiday when we were pulling out of Afghanistan? Anyone hear about that?
No.
So Dominic Raab is the Foreign Secretary. So when we pulled out of Afghanistan, he was on a luxury holiday. Okay. And he was criticised for not coming back and just using his phone, right? Now, the reason also why this is important is when I say luxury holiday, how much do you think it cost?
Well, if it's luxury, I'm thinking a few million at this point.
Wow. All right. All right. Jeff Bezos going to the moon. Luxury holiday.
Actually, Jeff Bezos went to the moon for 24.5 million, I think.
That's quite cheap, That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's what's good.
25.5 million.
I mean, that's just crazy money, isn't it?
It's crazy. Just to go, I was going to say go to the moon, but I mean, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's a whole different subject. I
know I'm going a little bit off topic.
Maybe we can talk about that next week, Kevin, if you want to join us again.
Yeah, I'm free I'm free to talk.
So okay, well, I'm gonna put this on the screen. So he went on holiday, right? and the holiday cost for the nights he went between £36,000, and you can't quite see at the bottom, but it's about £43,000, right?
Wow.
At £5,000 to £6,000 per night.
Who do you go with? Is it him and his wife or like his family?
I think so, right? I think so. So say it cost £40,000 for his holiday, right?
Yeah.
How much do you think he earns? How much does he get paid as an MP? Does anyone know
He
how
must
much
get a lot
MPs
if
get
he can
paid?
afford that.
Yeah.
More than that, yeah? So an MP gets paid £80,000, right? Or
That's not a lot.
£81,000, right?
That's
per
like
year.
that's half of his.
Per year.
salary.
That's half his salary. Now
So where's he getting the money from?
he
then?
gets a bonus, which is about £31,000 for being
Okay.
in the cabinet. So in total, he earns £113,000, £113,612.
But that's
right?
a massive chunk of his
Yeah.
pay for 7 nights.
Yeah.
And especially is that just
But
is that
maybe
per
it could have
person as well?
So
So
that's over a third of his wage.
probably.
he's obviously getting money from somewhere else, isn't he?
Yeah.
So this is where the investigative journalism comes in.
Hmm.
So there's a company called Essa and Walton Connect Club, who have apparently donated all that money for him to go on holiday.
So he can go on holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah,
Free holiday, free
I
holiday.
wish someone donated some money so I could go on holiday.
So I'm going to bring it up again, but is that right?
I mean, it's tricky because it's like being it's like a sponsor, isn't it? Because you see, like, even like with YouTubers and stuff, they're going on free holidays and things. And even then, I feel like the money could be put to a lot better use than just giving someone already rich a nice holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for their personal use, it could be going towards things within their things that they think should be done rather than just a little holiday for a week.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Fair
enough, he's paying for it with his own money, but he's obviously not.
Mm.
So it's tricky.
So, I mean, just to put that into kind of context, right? So the average wage in this country is apparently £31,000 a year. Okay.
That holiday is more expensive than someone's yearly
I know.
wage.
So me and Kevin laugh at this because, as far as we're concerned, that is not true.
No.
Right.
Okay.
So you've got the inflation caused by people working in London because you get like £5,000 more. But I mean, that's also because me and Kevin don't earn that for our jobs. Starting teachers don't earn that for their jobs. Nurses don't earn that for their jobs as a starting wage. Police officers don't earn that for their jobs. People in the army who join up and get shot at don't earn that for their jobs, right? And that is apparently the average. But by the by, but that would mean using kind of a bit of maths of how much that holiday costs. That would mean someone earning that average would spend £10,000 for 5 nights somewhere.
It just doesn't make any sense, does it? Like, it just doesn't. That's ridiculous.
I went to Greece all inclusive for 400 quid, so I don't know what he's doing.
That's what I mean. There's no need to stay somewhere for that price. There is just literally no need.
Whereabouts did you even go?
That's what I mean.
It was
global pandemic as well.
Yeah, in a global pandemic. Gooves somewhere. I don't know.
That's
What?
nice.
Gooves.
James, try and find out a location of it and then put it on the screen.
I know.
Expose of where he's been. Expose of where he's been, of all that money's been spent.
Is it abroad somewhere or?
Oh yeah, definitely abroad.
I was going to
Crete.
say at that price, I wouldn't think it'd be somewhere in England.
If it's just like a normal, if it's
Yeah.
a luxury,
I bet it's just like an
hotel,
all-inclusive pool hotel or something.
yeah.
Probably.
If it's just
Hold
something
on,
like
yeah.
that, I'm going to be absolutely disgusted because
Yeah, but
what I have
I
in
think
my
it's
mind, if you're
ridiculous
going
anyway.
to pay that type of money, you're
Yeah.
going to be going onto a private island.
Yeah, it's not. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
This is apparently the family guest rooms.
Wow.
Oh, that's a lovely picture.
But is that even worth
Five-star
10
hotel.
grand? No.
Not
Oh
really.
yeah, I mean that's
Like, what?
that's another
No,
argument, is it? I mean, Kevin, all inclusive 400 quid. That's a great deal.
I mean, it was off season, but it was still lovely.
Did he even leave the hotel itself? No,
Probably
I
not.
don't think so. When you go on holiday, what do you do at holiday? You relax and you go exploring a new place that you've never been before.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what I just want to be critical. I mean, now I'm going to say this again, right? I know I've brought up obviously the Conservatives doing this, right? And it's because they're in power. Labour and the Lib Dems, their parties and some of their MPs have both been guilty of doing this stuff as well, but arguably not on such a scale. Okay.
Okay.
Not on such a scale. So, but I think more transparency for all these political parties is important. Now, talking of transparency, so I've got a few things that have come from Boris Johnson.
Your favourite guy.
The first one. So obviously they'll talk about in their manifesto, oh look, we've raised wages and we've done all this, but we've had 11 years of austerity. Food bank use are up 3,000%. There's all these people, and we are the party of law and order, build back better. But this is the party that has cut 21,000 police officers from our streets, 23,000 police support staff, closed 600 police stations, slashed the CPS budget by 25%, and cut its staff by 30%, closed half of all our courts. Your tweet is completely and utterly insane. And it is.
It's not even a lie, is it?
It is insane.
Lies.
Now, talking about insanity or stuff that Boris Johnson has said. So, Boris Johnson was in a BBC interview, and I would argue, revealed what him and the Conservatives most care about. Okay. Just make sure you can hear this. So he's being questioned about the party's take on like coronavirus and stuff.
There's some businesses, but I've given you the most important metric, which is, never mind life expectancy, never mind, cancer outcomes. Look at wage growth.
So he's just saying about the wage growth, and he doesn't care about anything else.
He's saying, don't worry about cancer, don't worry about people dying, don't worry about cuts to the NHS, don't worry about COVID. We've increased the wage.
That's all right then, isn't it? That's all anyone cares about.
Apparently.
What?
Does he think he's being that he's like doing a good job because of that then?
Yeah. So I just think he's crazy to say something like that. He's definitely let it slide what he actually believes in, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously we all know I'm a loony lefty. We all know I'm a Tory basher. But am I being unfair to them? What do you think?
It was something like that.
You can be honest. You can be honest with this. If you think I'm being unfair to them,
being unfair with that. That's just ridiculous. Like you said, he's kind of let it slide his personal views. And basically everything that I feel like the general public would want him to believe in and want him to, put first. He's just saying it doesn't really matter. It's ridiculous.
Cancer is a silent killer.
Yeah,
cancer is a silent killer, just like the coronavirus. Doesn't matter. It's still a thing. It's still going on. And unlike the coronavirus, cancer at the moment doesn't exactly have the most cure sort of thing. There's still a lot of cancers out there that don't have a cure as such. They have like treatments to reduce it, but no proper cures. The coronavirus is operating sort of the same as the measles, as a good example. As much as they can be seduced and have vaccines to prevent it from spreading even more, and we can be a bit more protected about it, cancer, we can't exactly be protected about it. It is still probably one of the top 3 silent diseasal killers, and he's just pushed it aside like it doesn't care.
Yeah. And it's I find it strange because the things that he says don't really matter. The things that I think most people would think are very, very important, not the the wages. That's sort of the last thing on my mind at the moment when there's killer diseases and things like that. So I think it's ridiculous.
Kevin, Richard, anything to add?
I just searched it up and in a moment. renal cell. I don't know how to say that one. Pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic cancer.
Yep, that. And renal cell cancer.
Renal cell cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, those two are the top two.
Top two killers.
Yeah.
Mm. They're the top two killers.
But don't worry, Richard. Don't worry, Richard. You're getting 5p more an hour.
I think
you know,
it's something that that James, you do anyway. That I always try and stay very neutral and stuff. But in case of this, I just think he's lost touch. I don't really understand what his aim is here, because that's just a ridiculous thing to say, really.
I mean, I think this is the same. I mean, he's the prime minister, but before he's prime minister, he has said very misogynistic things in papers. He said very racist things. Talk about Pickaninny smiles on black women's faces and stuff like. And it's just, and we've been warned of him. Everything he thinks. But he's towing the party line a bit.
I think. Do you know what? I think my issue is anyway that the people that represent the country, often they're from the poshest schools. They don't actually have any idea how most of the country live. What struggles they go through. How most of us have to scrape paycheck by paycheck. We don't have a little trust fund somewhere with loads of money in. And I think, Boris, out of all of them, just shows that massively, that he just doesn't understand the real world. And I think for me personally, it would be, really refreshing if we had someone who did come, I don't know, from town centre instead of Eton, and could run the country for the people, not for the 1% of the rich or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, that is the other issue, I think. I mean, everything you say, I mean, just to add to what Kevin says, that is not just the Conservative Party. That is true of all the political parties. They're all generally privately educated, inherited wealth. It's just, I think, arguably the Conservative Party have got the highest levels of inherited wealth because it's run by the rich. But yeah, there's no one normal there. There's no one normal there, just shouting at them and swearing at them and going, don't be an idiot. Do you know what I mean? And the one person, this was a while ago, the Labour MP who called out another MP for being a liar. We spoke about it. They're the ones that had to go out of Parliament because you're not allowed to call an MP a liar, even though they lie all of the time.
Yeah. It just doesn't add up, does it? It just favours the rich and privileged and not even anyone else.
It'd be nice to see someone do you know how a lot of Rashford, for example, he fed his community and thousands of other children. It would be cool to see someone like that.
Oh yeah, but Kevin, he's a footballer. He should just stay out of politics.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he pay for himself? Why doesn't he use his own money? That's always the argument that comes out. It's just
because the government's not, are they? So
yeah. It's fun. Right. So before we're just going to wrap this up. So do you guys feel like you have gained a bit more knowledge about this process now?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
So next time I talk to you guys and I go, has anyone heard about this story? Right.
Probably
you'll go, no, James, no, we haven't.
No.
I'm gonna check the news before I come on next
At
week.
least a bit of research, I think.
Yeah, tell us what to research a day before, and then we'll have a quick look, and then we can have a bit more discovery.
Do you know what? To be honest, I never do that because usually what happens on the day is something outrageous happens that I have to shout about. So I mean that's kind of why I miss Trump a little bit, because there was always something that happened
always something going on
5 minutes before we went live, and I was like, look at this is bad. Right, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to finish off by getting Dillis to bark at us. So we're going to go round and share something nice that's happened to us in the last week or two whilst we've been off. So Richard, what's been yours?
Probably finding my love for Minecraft again. I've been really enjoying it again.
Minecraft.
Bit of Minecraft. Yeah, that sounds
Welcome
cool.
to the club.
I've never left it. I just got burnt.
Oh,
out
I
on it.
never left. I never left. All these
But
fake
you
people that have
just
just joined the
distracted by
last
other
2
things.
I love
years.
Minecraft.
It just that I played it so much that I just got burnt out on it, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I had I had like 2 months off.
Also, we've stopped playing Sea of Thieves,
Yes.
haven't we? So
Yeah.
I think
which I think we burnt out a bit on.
we
as well.
burnt ourselves out on that because we did the storylines of Pirates in the Caribbean. We did a few little storyline bits, and then we were just island hopping and then just trying to be like other players, and we just aren't like that. We can't do that.
We just kept getting bullied, didn't we?
As much as we tried to do a little bit of the same thing as them, we weren't as good as them.
We worked out we're not very good bullies, which I kind of like. We found out we're just not very good at bullying people.
No.
Which was fun. What about you, Owen?
So this was happening quite a while back. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but my cousin is got a birthday coming up in October. I'm going down there, and how they're going to be celebrating it, because it is a big birthday, they're going to do a masquerade ball. So
Right.
yeah,
What the heck
so
is that?
a masquerade ball is like a typical black suit, bow tie,
They're like a mask.
tuxedo, and a mask. A mask. So
when are you doing that? Sorry.
So this will be in October, half term sort of area. So I think it's on the 22nd of October.
I've got to work out what I'm doing for Halloween. Actually,
I haven't got a clue yet.
I'm doing nothing.
Nothing. Well, see, I
was going to do something.
I found some articulated creepy fingers that I really want to get, but I don't know what costume I'll do with it. So
I've seen those, and I really want them because they are so cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Manchester for Halloween. So
Manchester.
Think about it. Yeah, it's a friend's 40th, so I don't know whether we're actually getting dressed up or not.
I'm going near Manchester for my masquerade ball.
Oh, we can meet up.
We'll
Well,
see each other
Manchester.
there.
Yeah, Manchester's massive. Imagine if I didn't see you, James. No, that's because there's like 1 million people there.
Yeah,
right?
I thought I saw you, but I thought I saw you, but I think it was just some other bald guy with specs.
It was another bald guy with some specs. Charlotte, what about yours?
I haven't done too much really, but I've had a few weekends off work. And I went down to Portsmouth this weekend, which was really nice. So yeah, I'm seeing my best friend tomorrow as well, so it'll be nice to catch up.
Yeah.
You going pre-drinking?
Not until Saturday, James. That is happening.
Oh, okay. Damn students nowadays. What about you, Kev? What's been your happy thing? One nice thing.
We are going to pick up one of our camper van that's had a load of work done for like the last 6 months. So it'd be nice to actually pick it up and use it. So yeah.
I've been me and the girlfriend started looking at camper vans.
It's the way forward.
Yeah, definitely the way forward. And then gone, oh, they cost so much. So I've got a few, right? So my happy thing was obviously I was on holiday last week. And my girlfriend and I went walking around the Peak District, which was lovely. So my only question is, Kevin, you saw the video earlier, didn't you?
I did.
Does everyone? So we had an accident, right, in the Peak District, okay? And that accident was on this like 7-mile walk. I ended up with a bit of a talky shoe, yeah. Talky shoe, yeah. Before I went all the way up those hills and down again. However, for my girlfriend, it was a bit worse. So, Flip, what's happened to your boot? A wobbly bit, yeah, from walking, yeah. But isn't there something wrong with the other boot? You've already lost it.
Oh no.
She didn't even notice that she lost the bottom.
How can you not notice?
Oh no! I thought it was quite funny. Right, so just funny. Oh, Owen's frozen. Oh, Owen.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Owen.
Look at his face.
He looks really serious.
He does look really serious, doesn't he? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. We'll wait for him to rejoin before I. Oh no, hold on.
Hey.
There we go.
It just dropped out, Owen.
Yeah, I don't know what
right.
happened. My thing just reloaded. I do apologise. I have to watch that on a repeat.
All right, and I've got 2 more little videos.
Okay, good.
These are like just funny things that I found. So the first one, has anyone seen an earth pimple?
Oh, what?
An earth pimp.
An earth pimple.
And is that? I think I know what that. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry, I pressed all the wrong buttons.
I've seen this. I've seen this before.
Oh,
So basically, it's when water comes up and gets stuck, like underneath the
That's
turf.
very satisfying.
It looks like he's having a very fun time.
That's weird, man.
It's so cool. Have you ever seen like the massive ones? They explode, literally explode.
Yeah, just so crazy. So there's that one. But I've got this crazy one, right?
Of course, it's on Reddit.
Well, of course it's on Reddit. Yeah, that's where I get most of the stuff. So, do you want to see what happens when a wild boar goes downtown?
Yeah.
Okay, go on then.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yoink!
Wow.
Was it that big?
See, my favourite thing about that is, so when the wild boar is like, he misses, he kind of gets up and goes, what happened?
He looks disappointed in himself.
How did that happen? Yeah, so of course it's on Reddit. But there we go. So those are my happy, fun things. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope it's been informative and fun as always. And I've not been too much of a loony lefty. Owen, you're on the left side now. We did. I think it might be an idea to actually have some kind of political debate at some point about what we feel are, because I think I got this from what Kevin and I did earlier, like our values. We talked about that. I might do that, something on a political stance, I suppose. But thanks everyone for watching and joining in. Everyone say bye to the stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye, guys.
Bye, stream.